Hi everyone, I'm so happy you are here. And as I take you through how I create this look, I hope you enjoy it. So first of all, I'll be hydrating my face with the Kiss Beauty spray. It's an hydrating spray just to bring back hydration into my face. Next, I'll be moisturizing, and to moisturize, I'll be using my Blossom Moist Essence, particularly under the eyes and every other place on the face. I just didn't show it. Next, I'll be priming my face with the Missmetics Hydro Grip Primer. It's an hydrating primer, but it gives a matte finish. So I apply that on my face everywhere except the under eye. Next, to control oil, I'll be using my water powder serum from Dynasamyrix, and I'm using that just on areas where I produce oil, which is the sides of the nose, the chin, the cupid's bow, above the lips, the nose, the forehead, the brows. Yeah, those are the areas where I apply the primer. I let that dry, after which I tried to apply my foundation, but then I noticed that I had spots I needed to correct. So even though I blended the foundation in, I realized that my spots were still showing. So I went back in with this mixture as a color corrector. So I took an orange lipstick, mixed it with a foundation that is slightly darker than my skin, and I applied it on the spots, just on the spots, as a color corrector. So yeah, that's what I did. I mixed like a reddish orangey. It looks red on camera, but it's actually orange lipstick. I mixed it with a darker foundation to use as a spot corrector on just areas where I have the spots, and that was what I was doing, and that's what I showed you here. So after I had corrected the spots, I went back in with the foundation proper, and I applied all over the face and blended, and now it covered my spots. As you will see, it covered my spots. So yeah, I'm just using my blush to blend the foundation. It's better to use brush to blend foundation first before going in with a beauty sponge, because the brush does not take away most of the products, unlike the beauty sponge. I feel like the beauty sponge soaks up excess products, but it's still good to go over with a beauty sponge because the beauty sponge just gives a flawless finish. Now I'm bronzing, and I'm using my Curve Case from Made by Mitchell to bronze, and as you can see, the areas where I bronzed, it's like the upper cheekbone, like right above where you are supposed to contour, the sides of my eyes, the sides of my nose, and my jawline. And those are the areas I like to bronze. It just frames the shape of my face. So yeah, if you have a similar face shape as mine, you can like to copy this placement for your bronzer, and it's going to give you such a beautiful look. And even if you don't have a similar face as mine, I feel like these are areas that just elevate your face. When you go above the cheekbone, and you go on the jawline, it just snatches your face. I feel like it's the bronzer or the contour that snatches the face, not really the highlights. Those eyed areas you want to hide, and just gives you that chiseled, slim look. Next, I'm going in with my blush, and for my blush, I'm using the Made by Mitchell Curve Case too. There's a blush shade in there. It's the pink color, and that's what I used to blush. And you see that I went above the bronzer for my blush. Now I'm applying my first concealer, and I'm applying my Too Faced concealer in Butterscotch. And as you can see, where I placed the concealer in the inner part of the eye, I came down, but in the outer part, I didn't come down. I just used it to shape my face and sort of cut the eyes by the side. So yeah, I took my beauty blender, pressed it, and blended just in those places where I applied the concealer. I didn't drag it elsewhere. I just blended right in those places. And yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I'm blending it, blending. I'm looking up as I'm blending, so there's no creasing. So as I'm blending under the eye, I'm looking up. That gives a flawless look. Now I'm going in with my setting powder from Teila, and this is like their yellow shade. It's called Saffron from Teila Cosmetics. Teila Cosmetics is a Nigerian brand, and they have good setting powders. One of the best in the market right now. If I do say so myself, I feel like it's well priced and it just gives this blurry, beautiful look. And honestly, I like their colors. This saffron really looks nice. It's a yellow powder, and honestly, their powders are underrated in the Nigerian market. If I do say so myself, I feel like these powders should be more hyped. Now I'm applying my face powder. This powder is in my skin color, and it's from V Beauty, and it's the shade Chocolate, and I'm applying that on the rest of my face and on my neck. Yeah, you need to, don't forget your neck when you're doing makeup. It's very important. Now I'm applying my bronzer from my bronzy palette from Y Glam, and I'm applying that just on places where I applied the cream bronzer. I'm applying it as the matte bronzer, as the powder bronzer. Everywhere you apply cream, you have to apply powder. That's how makeup goes, okay? So yeah, now I'm setting under the eyes with a mineralized powder, and this mineralized powder is also from a Nigerian brand, the Sylvie Mac mineralized powder. Yes, so I like using that to set under the eye. It gives this glowy look under the eyes, and it just cleans under the eyes and makes it flawless. Now I'm going in with my blush from my blush palette, which is the Who's That Girl blush palette. Yeah, so I apply my blush just on where I applied my blush earlier, like I said, and powder over cream, like I said, is very important. So now I'm going in with my brows, and my brows, whenever I do my brows, I go in with a brow gel first to hold the brows in place, and then I go in with my brow pencil. It's just a random, any regular brow pencil will do. Yeah, so I use that brow pencil. As you can see, I'm going upwards in hair-like strokes. That's what I do with the brow pencil. I try to create hair-like strokes with my brow pencil, and also shape it in a way at the ends. I don't shape the front, I just shape the ends of the brows, just to give it that shape I want. And of course, after that, I also go back to brush and make sure it's exactly how I want it placed. After I do that, just under the eye, I don't go in with any concealer on top of the brows. Just under the brows, I go in with this, my concealer. I can't remember the concealer I used, but you can use any good concealer just to clean under the brows, the brow bone. You need the brow bone to pop. So that's what I try to do with my concealer. Just make sure it's the brow bone that is popping. I use the concealer just under the brow bone. If I'm going to clean up under the inner corners of the brows, I'll use my foundation shade. I won't use a light color, just because I don't want that place highlighted. Any place you want highlighted, use a lighter color to create that highlight. But any place you don't want highlighted, you use your real shade. That's how you create the flawless look. You are trying to sort of reshape the face with the colors. That's what you're trying to do with makeup. Now, I still went with that mineralized powder in my shade just to blend everything. I always do this over and over again. It gives the flawless finish because it blends everything together. Your powder shade blends everything together. Now, I'm priming the eyes with my Clown White from Benai, the Benai Clown White. I'm using the Benai Clown White to prime the eyes. And yeah, I blended it out because if it's patchy, your eyeshadow will be patchy. So I blended it out. Now, as a transition color, you see that I went into a powder shade. It's a nice arc to go in with your powder shade as a transition color. After that, I went in with an orange eyeshadow to blend into the crease as well. Now I'm baking under the eyes so that in case there's any fallout in the eye area, when I'm doing my eyeshadow, it falls on the powder, and when I dust off the powder, it just cleans away. So that's why I'm baking. Also, it gives this highlighted look under the eyes. So yeah, I'm baking now. I've done that, and I went back into the eye and blended further. Now on just the outer corner of the eye, as you can see in the video, I apply a brown eyeshadow. Just create sort of like a contour in the outer area. And as you can see, I don't let it get to the brow bone, just the outer corner but lower, framing the eyes as you can see me doing in the video. Also, I bring it down because I wanted that brown to connect to my lower eye. So I'm blending. You see, I take my time to blend. Even though this video is cut short, you still see that it took quite a while to blend because it's very important in makeup. Now I go in with a light powder just to pop the brow bone area. Like I said, you want the brow bone area to pop. No matter the eye look, it doesn't have to be this eye look. You just want the brow bone area to pop. Then I go in with brown again under the eye because that was the look I was going for. I wanted that brown under the eye. Now I'm lining the eyes and I'm using this nude color. This eye pencil is from Mera Cosmetics actually, but Mera Cosmetics no longer exists, but I've had these pencils for a while. Yeah, so I'm using that cream color on my eye. Now I'm lining the eyes with my black gel liner. Just lining the eyes, the top of the eye. And also I was tight lining. Sorry, I was tight lining, and tight lining means lining the upper waterline, not the lower waterline, the upper waterline. So I did that, but I also lined a little above the eye. So I didn't just tight line, I lined a little above the eye as well. Yeah, so just lining. As you can see, I dropped a tear right there. That step is not easy, guys. Also trying to connect the liner under the waterline on the lower lash line. Now I'm going in with Clown White just to clean up the liner, because I think I'm about to apply another eyeshadow on top of it. Yeah, so I cleaned that up with the Clown White, the line, to make it sharp. Then I go back in with the brush I used earlier for the brown, just to make sure everything is well blended. Next thing, I went into this champagne color from my Juvia's Place palette. That palette is also discontinued. I've had it for a while. So yeah. Then I also went in with that orange in the inner corner of the eye. Then here I'm lining the inner corner of the eye and giving myself that inverted liner. So like, you know that wing liner, but on the inner corner, instead of it going wing, it's going into the eye. That was the look I was doing. Sorry, I was out of frame here. I'm sorry. Then I went in and relined the eyes again with that same pencil just to make it pop, because I wanted that color to pop in the eye. Now I'm just dusting off the powder because I was done with the eyeshadow. And as you can see, the makeup is looking clean. Going back to blend with a clean brush. Yeah, I'm using a clean brush. Just to blend and connect everything together. Now it's time for the lips. And to line the lips, yeah, I'm using a brow gel, a brown gel liner to line the lips. It's really a nice thing I like to do because the gel liner doesn't bleed. It just stays in place. So if you have an event, actually, it's better to use a gel liner than just lipstick because it won't bleed, it will just stay in place. So I cleaned the inside of the lips with my wipes, and yeah, I applied this nude lipstick from Bicham Ageless. It's called Spice. Bicham Ageless is a Nigerian brand as well. Then I went in with my gloss, and my gloss is from Didi Beauty line. They are clear gloss. It's like a white gloss, a shimmer. And then on top of that, I also went in with my So Pro gloss in peachy. It's a peachy color. And I think I used that gloss just on the upper lip. Now I'm setting the spray with my Missmetic setting spray, the matte finish. This spray gives a matte finish. And yeah, I set the face with it, drowse my face with it. And yeah, after doing that, that's the end of the makeup. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you learned one or two things. I'm so happy you watched this video up till this point. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a comment for me. Like this video, share this video. I hope you like. Bye. See you another time. I love you guys. Bye. Thanks.